Hi, welcome. Simon here, and I hope you're doing well. In this video, I'd like to walk you through step by step on how to do a screen replacement on a MacBook Pro A2338. So if you have a cracked screen, pixelated screen, or your screen is acting funny, then more likely you do need to have a replacement. I will be replacing the entire full assembly screen. As you can see, this is a full screen that comes with the webcam, the LCD screen, the top cover, the hinges. So I recommend to change out as a full assembly screen in this repair. If you're not sure where to buy the replacement screen from, please check the link below where it will direct you to Amazon or eBay, where you can find a replacement screen as well as the tools for this repair process. Alright, that's enough intro. The first thing I'd like you to do is to identify your model number. If you take a look at your laptop here at the back, it says A2338. If it's the same model, then you should continue watching the video. The first thing you need to have is to get yourself a Pentalope P5 screwdriver. This is a P5, which is the 5 points, and we need to remove the screws and the back cover. So remove the 2 screws here on the top. The screws are not the same, so make sure you do not mix match the screw. And there are 4 screws here at the bottom. The one in the middle are the shortest. The one in the bottom left and right is somewhat in the medium size of it, and the one on the very top are the longest screw. Alright, once you have done all that part, the next step is to remove the back cover. Get yourself a metal prying tool. Try to stick in between the tiny little gap. While you're holding the gap, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pop. You can hear that little crack noise. That is the clipper on the side, and 2 in the middle, and there's one here on the other end. So what you want to do is you want to lift it up until you can hear that little crack, the pop noise. Now, holding the back cover, I'm trying to slide it down towards my body. At the same time, I'm using my thumb and pushing the laptop here to push it away. So one push, one pull. Okay, you see that? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to push the laptop away and pulling the back cover down towards my body, because there's a slide here, and the slide is the one that go in between that gap. All right, at this point, what you want to do is, if you see any dirt, any dust, the fan is dirty, I recommend you to just clean it up at this point. Okay, so the next step is to disconnect the battery. Let's go ahead and disconnect that. Get a plastic prying tool. Make sure you flip open that little plastic is covering up the connector. And there is a little hinge, a little clipper. This clipper right here is clipping onto the cable, right? This is closed. If you flip it up, it opens at 90-degree angle. Now you can slide that cable to your left to remove or detach that connector. Alright, next step, get yourself a T3, a torque 3 screwdriver. T4. A T4 screwdriver, and remove that screw here. Okay, so once you have done that process, the next step I'd like you to do is to remove this here. This is the plastic cover. It's covering up the Wi-Fi. I'm using the T4, which is the torque screwdriver, T4, and disconnect that to Wi-Fi cable. Okay, they're just like Lego. You just lift it up, and that's how you disconnect it. Alright, let's get going with this. So the first thing I like to do is to start removing some of the screw here. This computer is quite dirty. I see a lot of roaches, babies, poops and stuff. Anyway, remove the screw. Make sure the screws are not mixed match them. Okay, so what I'd like you to do before you start anything, maybe you want to take a photo of it, take a picture of the laptop, the internal part of it, like a diagram, so where you can print it out. As you're removing the screw, you want to put it on top that diagram so you know that where it's going to be, where it belongs later on. So not to mix match them, okay? Alright, I'm still using a T4. I'm still removing the screws. Alright, so I remove all the screws here at the bottom. 2, 4, 6. There are 6 screws here at the bottom. And then I'm using the T4 again. I'm removing 4 screws now. 4 screws are the one that holding down the LCD board. So this one is what I call the LCD board, because it controls the display on your monitor. So this is the guy. Once you have removed that, and do not forget to remove the 2 screw here, which is the bracket that's holding down the 40 pin connector or 30 pin connector. Okay, that is the bracket for that. And let's go ahead and disconnect it. So they are just like Lego. It snap onto it. To remove, you just have to, you know, use your fingernail and just remove it. Alright, so that is what it is. This is the LCD board. We just remove it. That is good. Now the next step is to get yourself a Pentalope P2 or the Pentalope 0.8, that little 5-star point. Okay, this is to remove the Wi-Fi antenna. There's a lot of tiny screw here. Sorry if you did not see that. I'm removing all the screw here. This is a Pentalope P2 or the Pentalope 0.5. I think that's what they call. If I'm wrong, please correct me on this, okay? Please comment below and let me know. I'm not sure why they have so many screws. If you know why they do, please comment below. I feel like all you need is maybe just 3 or 4 screws on each side of it, but they have like 2, 4, 6 of them. I think it's overkill. Anyway, if you know the reason, please let me know. Okay, now I'm using a T3, removing the 2 screws here, and this 2 screw is the one that is holding down the hinge. Okay, so you need to remove the plastic as well. So the 2 screws here, remove them. And remove that plastic cover. Okay, now you can see that the hinge is exposed. Double check. Now we want to remove the Wi-Fi antenna. You just have to lift it up. Remember the earlier part, what we did on this part here, so that the Wi-Fi antenna is supposed to slide out. So there's a little tiny hole. That hole is right there. So what you want to do is you want to slide it out. Okay, so save that Wi-Fi antenna on the side because we're going to need that in just a second. Alright, so make sure that the LCD board is loose, the board cables. Okay, we are going to start removing them. Now get yourself a T8, torque T8. We are going to remove 6 screws. The 6 screws are holding down the hinge. So we need to remove them in order to get the screen removed as well. I just dropped one of my screw. And I couldn't find it. Oh my god. Well, it's okay. The video still have to continue. I'll find it later. I'll vacuum and find it later. But anyway, you remove all the 6 screws. The next step is to go ahead and open up your screen. So lift it up, open up the screen. Okay, and then you can just slide it out. The hinge on one side and the other side is on that part. Slide it out. Now the entire screen will just come right off. Okay, now you can put the screen on the side. Remember the new screen that we purchased. Now you can go ahead and make sure the hinge is open at 90-degree angle or slightly more than 90-degree. And you want to make sure the LCD board and the 2 cable here is sitting on top of your laptop. So slide it in like so. Make sure it's sitting on top of it. Okay, and now you want to do the reverse process. Remember how we slide off earlier? Now you want to align the hinge because we open at 90-degree angle. Remember that? Slide it in, slide it in. Double check the flex cable. Make sure they are sticking on the top. Double check. Because a lot of time, sometimes you may have clipped that flex cable. Now they're sitting on top properly. What you want to do is get yourself a T8 screwdriver, a T8 screw and a T8 screwdriver. We want to close one of the screw in so that we can close the screen. Okay. You want to do that on the other side as well. And now you can close the screen. Double check again. Make sure that the flex cable are sitting on top of the laptop. It's not being clipped on. And finish up all the screws, okay? So I have 5 screws here. You should have 6. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I have 1 missing screw. I told you I dropped on the floor. It's a carpet and I couldn't see it, and it's a black carpet too. Alright, I'll come back and I fix this, but I like to continue with the video. I'm not going to pause it or stop it. Let's continue with the process, shall we? Okay, so this right here is your Wi-Fi antenna. You want to stick that 2 little cable through that hole right there. Okay, so stick it in, and you want to see them on the other side of it. Okay, it's coming through, and that metal bracket has to be on top of the motherboard. Get yourself a T4 screwdriver and screw it in. Now I'm not going to screw all the way in. I'm just going to hold it so that I can what is going on? Okay, I'm not going to tighten the screw yet because I need to adjust the Wi-Fi antenna here. Okay, now the next thing is to make sure you can reach the cable. That's what I wanted to say, is to make sure that the cable is adjustable. Reach it all the way to the connector. So the thing is kind of like a small circle, and then the connector is bigger one. It goes on top of each other. And what you want to do is do not force it down, okay? Just take your time, make sure they're aligned on top of each other, and then you just press it in gently. Do not force it down because it's not supposed to do that. You do not want to bend or damage that connector. The circle is very fragile. Okay, you can feel it, like when they sit on top of each other, you can feel the thing just snap by itself. Alright, now I can close it and tighten up that final screw. Remember the 4 screws that is holding down the LCD board. Let's go ahead and get that installed. T4 right here. Okay, so that is all done. Remember the plastic cover here that is holding onto the hinge. Make sure you go ahead and cover that up. Get yourself a T3, and 4 screws should go back in, 2 on each side of it. Okay, so that is all done. Now here comes the most tedious work ever, is to install this Wi-Fi antenna. The screws are so tiny, so super tiny, and yeah, so it's going to take some time for me to do all that. If you want to fast forward, you can, and if you want to watch me doing it, you can. Or maybe we should start the race. Okay, if you're doing it, let's count to 3 and start. See who can get it installed faster. I'm just kidding. Take your time, do not rush. I do not want you to strip the screw. Oh man, God, come on. Okay, I'm almost done. What about you? Never mind. One of these is so stubborn. It's hard to get in. 3 more to go. Two more to go. But yeah, if you are able to follow along the process and still doing without any problem, great. That means we are almost done. Okay, so there you go. Jump back to a T4 screwdriver. This is where you need to tug it in. You see this little thing like a spring on it? You need to flip it back this way. So flip it away from your body. So like flip it back, and then you need to tuck it in. Okay, so flip it back and then tuck it in. Then you put the screw back on. Alright, same process for this. Flip it back and tug it into it. Okay, so once you have done that process, now let's go ahead and connect the LCD cable back on top. The LCD board, they're just like a Lego. When you sit on top of the connector, you can just press it down. And do not force it. The most important thing is you align them in the right position, sitting on top of each other. And when you press it down, it should just very gently goes in by itself. You don't have to force it in. Okay, now put the 2 screws back, holding down the bracket, and now you just have to get this bracket back on top. Okay, once you have done the process, now the next step is to go ahead and get the battery screw here. Remember, there's one screw holding down the connector, so get the screw back in. Make sure that connector, the flex cable, is open, meaning that thing is sitting straight up at 90-degree angle, and then you want to slide that cable to your right. So align it in the right position. That this little plastic here, the plastic here allows you to pull that flex cable to your right. Okay. So you're going to push it all the way in. You don't have to. There is a little there is a little, what do you call that, so the flex cable, there is a little thing that is sticking out, meaning that it aligns, it shows you that it aligns with the end of, or the beginning of the connector. So as long as you push it in at this alignment, then you can press the connector to close it. It's hard for me to explain, but I think once you see it, you figure that out. Okay, so have the plastic back in. Now the important thing is the back cover. Remember at the beginning of the video, this thing's supposed to slide in, right? So you got to align them like so. Make sure you align on both sides, meaning that here is not too much or too little, and just slide it in, and press that little clipper on both sides. You can hear the click, and the one in the middle. Have the screws back in. The very long goes on the top using a P5 and tighten it up. All right, so pretty much we are at the end of the video now. We are done with the repair, and what I want you to do is please click the like and smash the like button for me if this video is helpful. Okay, if you're able to follow along the video and you find this information is helpful, please go ahead and like the video. For me, I really appreciate you for doing that. If you have any question regarding about the repair, comment below. I do read your comments and I will try to answer you through the comments. So I do read your comment and ask me about any computer repair stuff, and I'll try to answer you through there. Okay, again, just a quick reminder, if you're not sure where to buy the screen or the tools, check the link in the description below. Direct you to Amazon, get you the correct screen and get you the correct tools for this repair. I wish you good luck with your screen replacement, and let me know how did you do. Bye now.